Here with Philly Lammers to preview the 2019-20 Concordia women's basketball season. And as we record this, I know the teams had at least a week or so, maybe more than that, of practice time to kind of get familiar with what this team is about. I know a lot of players are back, so there's a lot of familiarity anyway, but this team did win a national championship last year. How many times do you think you've had someone come up to you and congratulate you on that?
Oh, yeah, that's happened quite a lot since the end of last season, all the way through the summer. I mean, obviously the end of the last school year when we got back, but even coming up into this this preseason, like, it still happens, which is pretty cool. It's fun.
Did it take a while to sink in? I mean, maybe it has now that you're in the arena and you see the banner and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to see the banner up there on the wall. But I think it did take a little bit to sink in because there's just such a rush of emotions, and obviously like post game in the championship, like that was tons of fun. But then like you wake up the next day and it's an odd mixture of like life goes on and like whoa, we just accomplished that yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Some news that came out fairly recently was about you winning the Liston Award, which is means you're really excellent in athletics and academics. But what was your reaction to winning that?
I thought that was a really cool award, just to be recognized for all that different things. But I know that comes across because we're so excellent as a team in basketball. And then I have like great support and teachers and friends and classmates on the academic side. So I know I've gotten to that point because of all the support that I've had.
Now, in past seasons, this program has always kind of had that as a motivator, that you hadn't accomplished that last step in the journey. Now that you have, what do you feel like is the motivation for this particular team?
Yeah, that's been something Coach has talked about quite a lot. I think a lot of our motivation is the same from last year in that it's intrinsic and like we bring it out in ourselves, so it's a lot of self-motivation in that sense. Obviously we don't have like that whole revenge factor kind of going into it, but this means it's so much more focused on us and what we can accomplish and what we can do.
And how do you keep going through those moments where, I mean, for this program, sometimes maybe it's been boring at times when you have those games where you're blowing another team out of the water, but how do you stay kind of mentally sharp during those times, even when maybe you're not challenged?
I think that's just about getting better every day, like whatever the situation is, whether it's in practice and you're going through the same drills, or whether it's one of those games where you feel like you're just getting through the motions. You got to look at it in a sense of how can you make yourself better through this? Like, you've done it a million times, but are you still focused? Are you training your brain to be mentally tough? Yesterday we talked about training your heart to have the heart of a champion, and like, are you going after those loose ball plays every time with 100% intensity?
You've accomplished a lot in your 3 seasons, 3 All-America awards already. What is something that you want to be better at as a senior and that you're really focused on?
I mean, there's definitely a lot of things that I can always improve on. I can get better in a lot of different areas. But I think learning how to best lead this team and give the team what it needs from day to day, from game to game, things like that.
Now, I think we all could see it that Grace Berry was a crucial addition to the team last year. What do you see as her most important contribution to winning a national championship?
Oh gosh. I don't know if I could pinpoint just one thing that she's done for us. She's an incredible point guard for sure, hands down. If you look at just the skills point of it on basketball, like, she can see the floor incredibly well, passes amazingly. She's turned herself into a scoring threat too, so now the defense has to be aware of that as well. But then emotionally, like, she brings a lot of joy to the team all the time. Like, she's always energetic, she's always focused, she's always present every day in practice, mentally and physically. And there's just tons of things she does for us.
Mm-hmm. The team last season had just the one senior with Quinn Rogge. What's something maybe you learned from her, that you observed from her, that is something you maybe want to emulate?
Yes. Well, we all can't be Quinn, but I think Quinn's composure was so consistent throughout everything she did, and that's something that I really looked up to her for. And I think figuring out a way to have the same sort of composure, and like you can still show emotion and you can still get rattled, but like underneath you're still calm and like you know how you're going to handle different situations and how to respond to things.
Well, this yourself and the rest of the senior class that has been here the past few years has a record of 105 in AIDS, which is pretty incredible. But how special has it been to be part of what's now a much bigger senior class this year?
Yeah, I think it's been an incredible journey with my teammates and my classmates. What we've accomplished just, I think, shows how close we are and how much we trust each other and how much we love each other. I think the memories that we've made and the times we've spent together is something I'm going to cherish for a long time, and I'm incredibly proud of us, and just I really can't wait to see where this year takes us.
Last year the theme all season was to focus and finish, and now it's about being bold in the pursuit. What, in your words, what does that mean?
I think for us, that means that we can state what we want to accomplish, and then we're going to pursue that with laser focus, and we're going to do everything in our power to achieve that. And it's okay if we say things like we want to win another national championship, but then you're going to back that up with actions, and you're going to do what needs to be done to be able to get that.
You're from Omaha, and this preseason you get to play at Creighton, which will be an exhibition for this team. But what excites you about that opportunity?
I think it'll be obviously fun to go back to my hometown and be able to play there, hopefully get some familiar faces out. But I think it's another challenge that this team is just ready to embrace, and I know we're all super excited about it. Can't wait till the day gets here.
I think a couple of these questions now from Randy might apply to you, but apparently there's been some class materials that have been left in Randy's office. What he wanted to know what the last thing you left in his office was.
Well, I was in Oakham last year, and so we did this experiment. I think we were polymerizing something, and it turned into almost like a hard plastic glass kind of thing within a test tube, and you stick a little wooden rod in there, and then we put our name on it. And so I didn't really know what to do with it after class, after lab, when I had made it, and so like I was just coming over here to shoot or do something in the gym, and so I went by Randy's office, and I was like, hey, like, do you want this little present? And it was funny because Cindy Feller 2 years ago had done the same thing with the exact same experiment. So now he has two of those little vials in there with that.
There's probably been a lot of this, but any most outrageous comment from Randy that you remember?
I don't know. All of his dad jokes, all of his puns, they're always funny. I can't think of a specific one.
He helps keep the mood light.
He does.
And I had a few quick things related to Halloween since it's coming up.
Okay.
But what's your thoughts on candy corn?
Oh, it's terrible. I hate it. I don't know why people love it so much. I don't think it tastes good. I don't know.
What candy would you want to get for Halloween?
Absolutely, like Reese's Pieces, for sure.
Do you have a favorite Halloween movie?
No.
You're not turning on Hocus Pocus
No.
every October.
Not so much.
What's the last costume you remember trick-or-treating in as a kid?
I'm pretty sure I was a witch for my last one.
What's the best prank that you maybe have played on somebody or had played on you for Halloween?
Definitely, you play pranks on different people's houses. Especially here in Stewart, it's kind of fun because we have so many different people in houses and teammates in houses. So TVing their houses or forking their lawns or something that's not very serious, but still funny like that.
Right. Don't want to get into trouble.
Right.